Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rajat Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. In my channel I make videos on Vedic astrology, I talk about transits. Today this video is about Mars's transit in the sign of Virgo. Finally Mars is coming out of its conjunction of Ketu that has been going on since the last few weeks, and it's going to enter the earthy sign Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury, on 28th of July, and it is going to stay in this sign till 13th of September. Let's talk about how this transit is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant signs or the moon signs. At the physical level, you must read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Aries ascendant signs or the Aries moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant. At the mental emotional level, you will read this from your moon sign. Mars is your Lagna Lord, Mangal, who rules the first house and the 8th house, the sign of Aries and also Scorpio. So it rules yourself, your body, vitality, immunity, who you are. It is your intelligence, your health, vitality, well-being is seen from this house. Your decision-making capability is seen from this house. Mars also becomes the 8th lord of longevity, suddenness in life, sudden shifts, places that are across the sea, your adversities in life and uncomfortable situations and how you deal with those situations. We also see deep transformation from the 8th house. This Mars is now going to enter your 6th house and it is going to be alone throughout the transit. It is quite a powerful transit because in 6th house at the natural level, Mars does very well. It is a warrior, it is the commander in chief, and it loves to be in the house that involves competition, which involves daily routine, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, warlike situation, growth aspects and job as well. Mars' duty is to be at work and be a warrior at work. So this time period is excellent for you to build your intelligence. Growth prospects are going to brighten up. There could be newer, better opportunities for a job. If you've been looking at something and things have been a bit slow, now things will pick up the pace and you're going to speed up with things. This is an excellent time for you to work out on your daily routine, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. Mars demands you to exercise. Be absolutely active all through the day. So you should engage yourself in physical activity or pick up a sport or spend time in the gym. You have to somehow bring in a lot of energy in your daily life. You will have energy. Sometimes it will be an overflow of energy or an overload and you will have to deal with this situation. At the relationship side, there is certain karma that you have to deal with because there could be an emotional level disconnect with your partner or there could be some energy level issues which you will have to resolve. So you must remember that Mars is aspecting your 9th house by the 4th special aspect and the 1st house by its 8th special aspect. So your dharma is being protected. Any long journeys, travel that you go for is going to bring in a sense of enjoyment and comfort, and that is also being protected. Your higher learning, higher education is being protected. And how long this protection is going to last is in your hands because you will decide. And of course, all of this in terms of you protecting your dharma, your higher education, spiritual knowledge, this is quite an excellent time because the more you focus on these pursuits, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, having a morning routine, doing your prayers and following the path of righteousness, fortune is going to be favorable for you because fortune is being protected. You could see some development, some good health of your father as well over the course of next few weeks. What you need to do is to ensure you clean out and clear your daily routine. Health and vitality is going to improve. You need to ensure that you keep yourself hydrated because there's a lot of Agni Tattva in your digestive system. You could have some digestion related issues, but if you keep yourself hydrated, it is going to be absolutely better for you all the course of this transit. Taurus ascendant signs or the Taurus moon signs. Mars is finally moving out of Leo where it was conjoined Ketu, and 28th of July it is going to enter Virgo and will stay there till 13th of September. Now Mars for you plays a very important role for all relationship matters. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign, Lagna. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. For Taurus ascendant signs, Mars is the 7th lord of the Jaya Bhava, which represents peace and also war. All those people, things and events who are opposite to you, your attitude towards the external world and how you orient yourself. We also see your spouse, marriage, relationship, sense of harmony, your connect with other people from the 7th house and its lord. Mars also becomes your 12th lord, the one who rules your expenditure, losses, your higher self-consciousness, your ability to give, your ability to donate, sleep or bed comforts. Taurus ascendant, by the virtue of Mars's lordship, always have a natural karma that they might be reliant on financial management to be done by their spouse. It's not that they will probably hand over their income, but they would probably encourage their spouse to do the budget exercise or manage the expense if Mars makes a prominent connection in certain houses. Now, what is happening during this time is Mars going to be entering your 5th house of progress. This is one of the Rajya Bhavas. We see kingdom or king-like success from this house. We see a sense of ownership, and we also see your future from the 5th house because this house represents your children. It is a trinal house. Mars rules your Kendra house. So it is a yoga in transit which Mars is following. But Mars is not considered most auspicious. Since it's forming a yoga, but it is not considered most auspicious in the 5th house, you would certainly need to do some mantra based remedies here. You have to look up to your 5th lord Mercury in order to channelize the most of this energy. But for your spouse or your partner, this could be a very good time because they could have some financial gains or they could have an elevated success in their workspace or work area. This could also be a time wherein at the karmic level you have to maybe improve relationship with your children. Love matters would see heightened energy here, so you have to be a little bit careful in terms of dealing with romanticism or love and other relationship because this could create some sort of friction when Mars is placed in the trinal house or it is making a transit in the trinal house. There is one planet that you need to remedy which falls 6th from Mars by the day lordship. So after Mars, Tuesday comes Wednesday, that is Mercury, then is this Jupiter, then Venus, Saturn, and the 6th planet is Rahu. So 6th from Mars is planet Rahu by the day lordship, and that needs to be remedied during this transit. So whichever sign Rahu falls in your chart, you have to remedy the dispositor of that sign. This is the golden tip that I could share with you. So for example, if it falls in the sign of Pisces in your chart, then you have to remedy Jupiter, use mantras related to Jupiter in order to maximize this opportunity. So you need to increase your spiritual quotient here over the course of next few weeks. So if you have to isolate yourself from certain people, do not hesitate to do that because it will be good for your future, because this will make you think and set some long-term goals for months to come, because your energy levels are going to be quite high when it comes to goal setting, when it comes to thinking about your own future and the future of your children, your family as well. Mars is going to be aspecting your 8th house by the 4th special aspect. So your 8th house is under protection. So you are under the protection from any unforeseen events, any suddenness, and this protection is coming from your 12th house. The more you engage in spiritual practices, you will be protected. You have to focus on your health, well-being and vitality, and transformation is inevitable. Now for Taurus, during this transit, Saturn and Mars is having a mutual aspect, and Saturn holds a greater strength and it is a Yoga Karaka Graha for you. So it will instill discipline related to all the Martian matters which you also have to take into account. Use a Vishnu mantra, that is Om Namo Narayanaya, and he is the one who will protect you and guide you in the right direction. Gemini ascendant signs or the Gemini moon signs. So what is happening? Mars is moving out of your 3rd house where it has been making a transit with Ketu, and it will enter your 4th house, the sign of Virgo, on 28th of July, and it is going to stay there till 13th of September. Mars for you is the 6th lord and the 11th lord. So it rules 2 not so good houses, However, it is making a transit in the house where Mars is also considered to be one of the Karakas or significator of that house, because it is the Karaka for Bhumi, land, and that is also something we see from the 4th house. So it rules your 6th house of debts, diseases, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, daily routine, your health and well-being, your ability to repay the loans, competition, enemies are also seen from the 6th house. It also becomes the 11th lord of gains, your income. So for financial matters and repayment of the loans and finances, Mars plays a very important role. 11th house also represents your friends, bigger enemies, because it's 6 from the 6th house. Both the houses are Upachaya Bhavas, growth related matters. For Gemini, Mars plays a very important role. It is the planet that will bring growth opportunities. And this is making a transit in the 4th house of your comfort space, your happy space, your safe space, where you feel most happy. This house represents your mother. Mars will be in a mutual aspect with Saturn, who's your 9th lord, and making a transit in the 10th house. Saturn has a quite an influential aspect on Mars during this time because it overpowers Mars somehow. So your 4-10 axis is pretty active, where there is high amount of energy and there is the power of labor as well. So you are going to be extremely busy at home and also working very hard at work. So one of the key message for you is that you have to strike a balance between your home life and your work life. Mars's transit is a signification that it is naturally putting you out of your comfort zone. You could make a move, you could make a shift as well outside of your home for other opportunities, or you could go on travel. Since it is making you step out of your comfort zone, it is a good time to try out new things. Don't wait for opportunities or situation or things to be pushed on you, because that will put you in an uncomfortable position. Take proactive steps to engage in new projects, new assignments, and of course try to spend time at home but outside of home as well for your pursuits, because your 4-10 axis is absolutely active. A perfect time to declutter your home, because the one who rules your daily routine is making a transit at your home. So a morning routine will be very good for you, which will ensure that you channelize these energies all through the day. Mars is sitting in your heart chakra. Take care of your diet, eat healthy, and try to have a nice lifestyle. Put your lifestyle back on track. That is the key message. Avoid overindulgence. That is the key message again. Mars is going to be aspecting your 7th house by the 4th aspect, which is the aspect of protection. So your marriage, your spouse, your partner is being protected, your business is being protected. And it is having an 8th aspect, special aspect again, on the 11th house. This protection is coming from your income, from material gains, comforts. Your friends are going to play a very important role in helping you with business ideas, and of course take their inputs into account. And from a financial point of view, this seems to be a positive transit. You could make some decision related to your home, real estate, or your vehicle. You could probably do some transaction related to this. From a remedial point of view, look up to your Lagna Lord Mercury, who is the dispositor of the sign of Virgo, where Mars is making a transit. Use a 6-syllable Shadakshari mantra, that is Om Vishnave Namah, and he is the one who will guide you in the right direction. Cancer ascendant signs or the Cancer moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So Mars, Mangal, who is a Karaka Graha for you, a Yoga Karak, because it rules one trinal house and one Kendra or quadrant house. It rules 2 of the most important houses of the chart. It becomes your 5th lord and the 10th lord. 5th lord of progress, positional success, your children, future. It is the Rajya Bhava, or the house that represents kingdom. We see king-like success from this house. We see mantras from this house. So Mars becomes your mantresha. It is also the 10th lord of your actions in the society, your work, what you do, your job, your profession. Both these houses are Rajya Bhava. So from a progress point of view, Mars plays a very important role for Cancer ascendant signs. And this Mars is now making a transit in Virgo end of July, and it is going to stay there till mid of September. This is happening in the 3rd house of valor. courage, change, your co-bonds, particularly younger siblings. We also see growth from this house. We see communication from this house. We see making a shift or going on a journey from the third house. Mars is the natural significator of the third house because he is the one who represents courage, valor, and he is a significator of siblings. So from a position point of view, it is in a comfortable position because Mars has a very good domain knowledge with regards to all matters of this house. It's a Yoga Karaka Graha for you. So for the next few weeks, 40-45 days, whatever efforts that you will put with regards to your work, with regards to your future, success is inevitable. Change is inevitable. So if you put efforts, maybe if you put 1 or 2 efforts, you're likely to get 4 or 5 times the result. But there is a caveat to it. Mars is in a mutual aspect with Saturn, and Saturn is making a transit in the 9th house, which is not the most auspicious position for Saturn, and it is trying to suppress Mars. So you'll have to work a little bit more hard in terms of ensuring that you put these efforts. You have to be careful about your communication because that can get spoiled and it can create a conflict situation for you because third house is also the house of conflict. Mars is a fiery planet. Saturn is also aspecting Mars. Saturn will be going retrograde. It has a more powerful aspect on Mars. So it could somehow bring some deviation in your communication, some sort of deflection in your communication. So this is a time where you have to be very careful with your written communication on social media and other mediums, and of course your official communication as well. Be a little bit careful in that matter. Creative pursuits are going to be quite on a higher side. So if you work in creative fields or if you start doing anything creative, it is very good for you. From a remedial point of view, you must journal. Put your energy, attention in journaling. Journal about work. Also journal about your future, your position, success, anything related to children. The karmas are quite high. Mars is going to be aspecting the 6th house by the 4th special aspect. So your debts are being protected. Your health and well-being is being protected. It is a forward-looking transit in terms of ensuring that you will be more healthy. And it is also having an 8th aspect on your 10th house. So your daily routine and job is very much dependent on your actions, the actions that you put. And of course, your job, your work is going to ensure that you have a very balanced and a high energy daily routine. And this is a very clear message that Mars is giving you. Journal, that is the best remedy for you. Put all your energy and attention there and make sure that you exercise. Preferably in the gym. If you can't go to the gym, do yoga, go for a walk, go for a run. Try to stay active all through the day. Leo ascendant signs or the Leo moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this transit from the ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Mars is making a transit in Virgo end of July until mid of September. It is going to stay in this sign. Mars is a Yoga Karaka Graha for you. It also becomes a Badikesh, but for Leo ascendants, I have rarely seen it creating obstacles unless it is afflicted, unless it is placed in bad houses or probably in bad yogas. It is your 4th lord and the 9th lord. It is the one who rules one Kendra house and one Trinal house. 4th lord of your happy space, your comfort space, your home, mother, the place where you feel most safe, your sense of safety, security. This is your home. This is also your assets, your home, vehicle, real estate, anything that you own. It also becomes the 9th lord of your dharma, bhagya or fortune, long journeys, your guru, teacher, higher education, spiritual knowledge or spiritual education is also seen from the 9th house. This Mars Mangal is now going to be making a transit in your 2nd house. So over the course of August, mid-September, your 2-8 axis is pretty active. During this transit, Mars is going to be in a mutual aspect with Saturn. So Saturn is going to have a 7th aspect on Mars and vice versa. But Saturn's aspect is slightly more influential, slightly more powerful. So it is trying to suppress these qualities. One thing that you have to be mindful, careful of is Mars is a fiery planet and Saturn is an airy graha. and it having an aspect could disrupt your speech. Be very careful while talking to other people, because your speech, or probably you could call out some words or you could say something and regret later. This is just a word of caution and advice. Otherwise, Mars is forming a Dhan Yoga during this transit because it's your 9th lord and 4th lord placed in the 2nd house. It is giving you a financial yoga. Also, it is a good time for your spouse or partner to have some financial gains, because this is being aspected by the 7th lord Saturn. So, of course, financial prospects are going to improve. From a remedial point of view, you need to ensure that you keep yourself hydrated. Drink at least 2 to 3 liters of water, maybe sometimes more as well. That will depend on your physical activities that you do all through the day and how your routine is. This is definitely creating favorable circumstances from a financial point of view. So, take some important financial decisions during this time. Long-term investment related decisions, decisions related to your real estate, buying and selling, you can have some gains there. Mars is having a 4th aspect, the special aspect on the 5th house. So, your future is being protected, your children's being protected, and certain decisions that you will take with regards to what is going to come ahead, that is being protected. And Mars is also having a special aspect on the 9th house of your fortune or higher education or your father. So, these are the things or people where the protection is coming from. So, if you have a mentor, father, make sure that you reach out to them to get some advice with regards to your future pursuit. Your education or what you learn is going to play a very important role in your success and also in having financial gains. So, if you do not learn, you are not going to have a financial gain. So, this is a very clear message for you. And also your dharma, you have to stick to your dharma, the path of righteousness. From a remedial point of view, you could look at strengthening your Lagna Lord Surya, because that will help you make some wise decisions. That will also help you take care of your speech. Take care of your diet as well. Make sure that you don't overindulge in foods and bring some changes in your dietary requirement, because there is a very high level of energy. So, you would like to experiment. Mars also brings a lot of impulsiveness with regards to these matters. So, take it slow and ensure that you focus a lot on your health. Virgo ascendant signs or the Virgo moon signs. So, what is happening end of July, Mars is going to enter your ascendant or the Lagna, and it's going to stay there till mid of September. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Now, for Virgos, Mars is not the most ideal planet. It is a potent malefic both at the natural, also at the functional level, because it becomes the 3rd lord and the 8th lord. It rules 2 of the not so good houses, but it is making a transit in a very important house, that is the Kendra house. Mars being the natural ruler of the 1st house, it is a comfortable position for Mars. Depending on the placement of your natal Mercury, we could further ascertain results and whether this will work positively for you or not so positive. Mars becomes the 3rd lord of valor, efforts, courage, change, journeys, co-bonds, particularly younger siblings, communication. It is also the 8th lord of transformation, longevity, places which are across the sea, your ability to deal with adversities and certain suddenness in life. So, definitely it making a transit in the Lagna, transformation is coming in your personality. It is time for physical transformation for you over the course of next 45 to 50 days. It's an important phase for you. There is huge amount of energy that is coming in your ascendant, firepower. Any efforts that you will put, you will see results, particularly if those efforts are connected to your body. See, you would have had some issues with regards to your sleep, discomfort, and of course, some overthinking. Now, all of that is going to improve. Your spiritual quotient is going to increase. You're going to be more mindful about the things. You will be more action oriented, because that who signifies action is in your ascendant, that who signifies spirit, war, and of course a warrior kind planet, the one who loves to thrive in competitive environments, is making a transit in the ascendant. It is your time to maximize, in spite of Mars having a not so good lordship in your case. Mars is in the mutual aspect with Saturn that gains directional strength in the 7th house, and Saturn having a stronger aspect. So it is absolutely a very good time to ensure that you bring in consistency in your discipline and anything and everything that you do in the daily life. Transformation now is going to be easy for you. But on the blind side, you will have temperamental issues. This could cause friction in your relationship, coldness in your relationship, energy disbalance, and that is something that you need to manage during this time. Mars is having a 4th special aspect on your 4th house. Your home, safe space, your comfort space, your mother is having a lot of protection during this time, and this protection is going to come from your 8th house, which means your spiritual practices, your ability to deal with adversities, and your deep level thinking is going to ensure how long your comfort and safe space is going to be protected. It is an excellent time to learn astrology, to pick up occult or any subjects that involves research and increase your ability here. From a remedial point of view, look at strengthening your Lagna Lord Mercury. You can use a Vishnu mantra, which is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, in order to channelize these energies in a positive way. Libra ascendant signs or the Libra moon signs. So what is happening on 20th of July, Mars is going to enter the sign of Virgo and it's going to stay there till 13th of September. Mars for you is not the most idealistic planet, but it rules important houses. It's your 2nd lord and the 7th lord. So at the physical level, you will read this transit from the ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. The Mars becomes the ruler of the Dhan Bhav. It is the Dhanesha. It rules the 2nd house, which represents your family, Dhan Kutumba Vani. It rules your speech. It rules your food, what you consume. 1st house is yourself, 2nd house is your consumption, your storage space. What are you going to accumulate in this life? It is also the 7th lord of businesses, agreements that you do. All those people who are opposite to you. Therefore, we see spouse from this house. But this is more about your attitude towards the outer world. We see peace and also war from the 7th house, and its lord plays a very important role. This Mars is now going to be making a transit in your 12th house of losses, expenditure, your higher self-consciousness, your ability to sleep, your ability to give, donate. Your quality of sleep and bed comforts is seen from this house. Mars' placement here is not the most auspicious. It rules your finances, wealth. It is making a transit in the house of expenditure. So, of course, it is going to increase your expenditure and your partner's expenditure as well. But I always say when expenditure would increase, so would your income. Thankfully, during this time, Mars is in a mutual aspect with Saturn, which is quite heavy because these two planets don't have aspects of any other planets during this time. Saturn has a more powerful aspect on Mars, and Saturn is a Yoga Karaka Graha for you. So your 12-6 axis is very active. So next 45-50 days are very important for spiritual goals, spiritual matters. Increase your sadhana. This is a very clear message if you were to channelize your energies. If you were to have good sleep, have a morning routine and try to stay energized all through the time, because you will find that your energy levels are on a lower side, and this is something which you have to improve. Have a sense of devotion, and from a remedial point of view, you need to strengthen Mercury and do remedies related to Mercury in order to channelize these energies to the best of your abilities. Mars is going to have a 4th special aspect on your 3rd house. Your efforts are being protected. Any change, any journeys that you go on, they are being protected. You have a very good opportunity and a chance to move outside of your home country because it's your 7th lord. For business matters, spouse related matters, and along with your partner, you do have an ability to make a shift. Mars is also having an aspect on 3rd house, which is having protection. Journeys are being protected. Your foreign connections are being protected. And it will have a special 8th aspect on your 7th house. So your spouse will play a very important role in ensuring how long this is going to last. So make sure anything that you do, you take advice of your partner. Your health needs to be your number one priority because your 12-6 axis is quite active. Make sure you go for a regular routine health checkup. You take care of your digestive system and your sleep. These are the two things that could be little bit concerning during this time. Otherwise, at a spiritual level, at an emotional level, it will only make you a strong person. Scorpio ascendant signs or the Scorpio moon signs. So what is happening on 28th of July, Mars is going to enter Virgo and it will stay there till 13th of September. Mars is your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant. It rules the first house and it rules the 6th house of the sign of Aries. So it rules yourself, your body, your vitality, your immunity, who you are, your decision making. This is where your brain sits. So it plays a very important role. It is also the 6th lord of your intelligence, your growth, because this is one of the Upachaya Bhavas. We see deaths, diseases, health and well-being from this house, what you do on a day-to-day basis. Your job is also seen from the 6th house. Mars transit is in Virgo, which falls in your 11th house. At the physical level, you will read this from ascendant. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. 11th house transit of Mars is always good because this house is quite positive when it comes to all Mars related matters. He is the warrior at work and this is the Upachaya Bhava. So Mars brings a lot of growth opportunities. This is also a natural Dhan yoga in transit or a wealth yoga because we see income from the 11th house. You see material gains or comfort from the 11th house. This is also the house of fulfillment and also illusion at the same time. So you have an opportunity to overcome your illusion, which are linked to your 6th house. It's the house of Shadripus as well, your weaknesses, how you can overcome that and bring in more clarity in your life. See, it's a growth phase for you, considering the fact that Mars will be in a mutual aspect with Saturn. Saturn making a transit in the 5th house is not the most comfortable position for Saturn, but it has a stronger aspect on Mars. Mars is also having an aspect, so they're in a mutual aspect. So your 11-5 axis is pretty active, but Mars is placed very well. So Saturn's aspect momentarily is causing some disruption, some discomfort, but you have to ensure that you keep yourself energized. You will win over competition, you will win over other people. If there are enemies who come across, they are going to be defeated. They are going to be destroyed, no matter how strong these enemies are. Mars is aspecting your 2nd house by the 4th special aspect. Your family is having protection, your finances are having protection. So any savings that you've made, any long-term investment related decisions that you've made, you have a chance of having some fruits or results with regards to those decisions. And Mars is also having a special 8th aspect on your 6th house. So what you do on a day-to-day basis, your health, vitality will ensure how long your wealth, your family is being protected. So your actions all through the day will ensure. You definitely need mantra-based remedies. Either Mars's Bij mantra to strengthen it, or Lord Narsim mantra, or read Hanuman Chalisa on a day-to-day basis. This will help you channelize the energies of both Mars and Saturn. Look up to him and he will fulfill your needs, and of course at the same time you will have a lot of courage, a lot of rigor in anything that you do. Sagittarius ascendant signs or the Sagittarius moon signs. So what is happening? Mars or Mangal is going to be making a transit in Virgo on 28th of July and it is going to stay there till 13th of September. At the physical level, you must read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign or Chandra Rashi. Mars for you is the 5th lord and the 12th lord. Being the 5th lord, it is one of the most important planet because it has the 5th lordship, and this is the house of your future, positional success. We see children from this house. We see a sense of progress from this house. We also see a sense of corruption because with power comes corruption, and this is one of the Rajya Bhavas, the house that represents kingdom. your deeds from the past and how it will manifest into your future is seen from the 5th house. This house also represents love, romance. Mars also becomes the 12th lord of your higher self consciousness, your expenditure, losses, your ability to donate, help others, and of course your ability to be more self-aware, because this is all about your higher self-consciousness. Mars or Mangal is now making a transit in your 10th house of Karma Bhava. Your actions in the society, your work, profession, what you do on a day-to-day basis, and of course how you survive yourself and your family in this world, your profession, your job. Mars gains directional strength, or it is Digbali in the 10th house. Therefore, there are blessings of Shri Hari, Lord Vishnu during this time. It is a time for you to have some work related success over the course of next 45-50 days. It's quite important for you. The only caveat or little challenge that you have is Mars is in a mutual aspect with Saturn. Saturn is making a transit in your 4th house. It will ensure that you stay out of your comfort zone. You have to create a sense of balance between your work life and your family personal life, because Saturn is going to restrict things at work. Mars is going to ensure that you have a lot of energy, that you leverage this energy. Saturn is going to cause some sort of restriction. So you need to remedy Mars, you need to use a Vishnu mantra in order to channelize these energies. Use the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and of course you could have some sort of progress. But yes, if you go for new opportunities, since Mars rules your future, you could have a new job. Future prospects look quite bright when it comes to work. And at the same time, you also need to ensure that you increase your spiritual practice. You need to ensure that you spend enough time at home that you do at work, because at home you have a chance to develop a cold tendency. Particularly when Saturn is going retrograde, it has a much stronger aspect on Mars. It could also ensure that it instills discipline at work. So discipline, energy, courage, valor and rigor. These are the things that you need to demonstrate at your work over the course of next few weeks. You can also start a new line of work. And since Mars rules your 12th house, if you build foreign connections or contacts, or if your work involves multinationals, foreigners, you can have some gains during this time. So make sure that you make the most of it here. Mars is going to be aspecting your 1st house by the 4th special aspect. So you are being protected. Your intelligence, your decision making, you will make the right decisions regardless of whatever other influences are there. Mars is also having a special aspect on your 5th house, which is the 8th special aspect. So your future planning will ensure how long you, your intelligence and your decisions are being protected. So plan ahead of the time, pen down your goals. If you have children, it's quite an auspicious time for them, because they can have recognition, they can have growth. You have to take care of your health, you have to take care of your legs. Make sure that you try and stay active all through the time. Don't be complacent, you could develop some knee related issue. So make sure that you take care of yourself in case you have any such issues. Capricorn ascendant signs or the Capricorn moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. For you, Mars becomes the 4th lord and the 11th lord. It is a natural malefic, also a functional malefic in your case, but in my opinion, it's more of a neutral planet, because it rules one Kendra house. It becomes your 4th lord. So it still holds an important lordship, because it is the 4th lord of your happy space, your comfort space, your home, your sense of protection, where you feel most happy, your mother, homeland, your assets that you own, right? Whatever you possess. It also is your 11th lord of material comforts, material gains, your sense of social network and other people who you network, your connections, your friends. It also represents bigger enemies, because this is 6 from the 6th house. It also represents growth and free will, because this is one of the Upachaya bhavas, Mars is going to be making a transit in your 9th house of Dharma, Bhagya, Fortune, long journeys, higher education, spiritual education. Mars is making a transit in the sign of Virgo that is ruled by Mercury. So you have to remedy Mercury. Any remedies related to Dharma and Mercury needs to be performed during this time. So prayers to Lord Vishnu will be absolutely beneficial. If you read or listen to Vishnu Sahasranam, or if you chant any of the Vishnu mantras, it could be a good time period for you. I would recommend the mantra Om Vishnave Namah in order to channelize these energies. You have to ensure that you protect the significations of the 9th house, which is primarily your Dharma, and invest your energy in higher education pursuits. Mars for you is the ruler of the 4th house, which represents your primary education, and it making a transit in the 9th house indicates that you could travel for education related pursuits. So if you have some education goals, you will see things moving, or you could shift bases and move to another country for studying or academic purpose. This Mars is going to be in a mutual aspect with your Lagna Lord Saturn, who will go retrograde, and it will have a very strong aspect on Mars. It is somehow creating restrictive tendencies, but since Saturn is your Lagna Lord, it is mostly good for you because it will ensure that your 9th house is channelized in the best possible way during this time. There is a sense of hard work and labor that is being supported. Mars is going to be aspecting your 12th house by the 4th special aspect, which means that your higher self-consciousness, you are being safe from any unnecessary expenditure or losses. You need to have a budgetary exercise. Do some sort of financial planning, financial management. Your expenditure is going to come down. And Mars is also aspecting your 4th house by the 8th special aspect. Your mother is going to play a very important role in ensuring you get some financial aid or support. And your assets that you own, people at home will play a very important role in supporting in all these matters, and also in increasing your spiritual pursuits, because spirituality is also seen from the 9th house from an education point of view. So invest in higher education, invest in yourself, take care of your health and well-being, and have necessary daily spiritual practices over the course of next 40 to 45 days. Aquarius ascendant signs or the Aquarius moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Mars is now going to enter the sign of Virgo on 28th of July and is going to stay there till 13th of September. Now Mars for you holds one important lordship because it becomes your 10th lord of Karya Bhava, your actions in the society, what you do to survive yourself and your loved ones in this world. This house represents your job, your profession, what you do, and of course your businesses as well, your actions in the society. It is the Karma Bhava for you. Mars also becomes the ruler of the 3rd house, which is valor, courage, your co-borns, particularly younger siblings. Change, growth is also seen from the 3rd house, and we also see communication from the 3rd house. Therefore, Mars definitely has an important lordship. What is happening over the course of next few weeks? Mars is going to be making a transit in your 8th house, 8th house of longevity, suddenness, sudden ups and downs. It is a secret house. It represents your secret desires, places that are across the sea. And it also represents your adversities and your ability to deal with these adversities. So, 3rd Lord making a transit in the 8th house is a similar situation to a Viparita Yoga in transit. Circumstances, situations could go adverse. Eventually, you will rise. See, Mars is not the most ideal planet for Aquarius ascendant. So, if it falls in the 8th house, it is actually beneficial or better. But for its malefic qualities, it could bring in a sense of suddenness in life, sudden change with regards to work, new unnecessary projects or tasks or additional work. That is something which you should be prepared with. Thankfully, it will have a mutual aspect with your Lagna Lord Saturn, who's going to be retrograde in second house, and it has a very strong aspect on Mars. Saturn's aspect is overpowering Mars during this time, and from a remedial point of view, you have to look at Shani, you have to use mantras related to Shani. A simple Mool mantra, that is Om Sham, could be absolutely beneficial for you to channelize these energies. There is a lot of energy which is there in your transformation. You have to adopt healthy habits, healthy eating habits. You could have some diet related issues, avoid overindulgence, because this could create a certain sense of health related repercussions. So your health and vitality needs to be your number one priority. Eat at home, avoid outside food, eat natural food, eat fresh food, avoid processed food. This is a simple tip that I can give you. Use an Ashtakshari or an 8-syllable mantra. Since Mars is making a transit in Virgo, that is ruled by Mercury, use the mantra Om Namo Narayanaya, and he is the one who will guide you and protect you. Mars is going to be aspecting the 11th house. By the 4th special aspect, your gains are being protected, your friends are being protected. You will overcome your own illusion, but this will come with significant challenges as well, because you have to be prepared with suddenness. Mars is also having an 8th special aspect on the 3rd house. So your efforts will play a very important role in ensuring that you work, and also at the same time your gains, your income being protected. So please do not shy away from putting efforts. There is no scope of lethargy. Be careful of your speech. Ensure that you keep yourself hydrated. Drink at least 2 to 3 liters of water, and of course, depending on your daily routine, your exercise, you could probably increase the quantity as well, and may you have a blessed transit. Pisces ascendant signs or the Pisces moon sign. So what is happening on 28th of July, Mars is going to enter the sign of Virgo and it's going to stay there till 13th of September. So during this time, Mars will also be in a mutual aspect with Saturn, who's making a retrograde transit in Pisces. Now you need to understand that at the physical level you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level you can also read this from your moon sign. Mars is an important planet for you because it becomes your Bhagyesha or the 9th lord. Besides being the 9th lord, it is also your second lord of Dhan. It becomes your Dhanesha, or accumulation of wealth, finances. We also see food, what you consume. This is the house of your consumption, because this is second from the ascendant, which represents yourself. This is the house of your family, Kutumbha Bhava, your speech, what you say. And of course, it plays a very important role in ensuring what you will store in this life, physically and also in your mind. 9th lord of Bhagya, fortune, your higher education, spiritual education, long distance journey, your dharma, father or father figure. We see your mentor or guru from the 9th house. This Mars is going to be making a transit in your 7th house of the Jaya Bhava, that represents peace and also war. All those people, things and events who are opposite to you, and your ability and your attitude to deal with these situations, and all those people who are opposite to you. Mars attains Maran Karak, or it is a death-like position in the 7th house, because it has no domain knowledge of the 7th house. Mars is a Brahmacharya or a bachelor graha. 7th house is the house of marriage, so it is not the domain of Mars. Now during this time, from a position point of view, it is not the most comfortable position, so you will have to put in a lot more effort in order to improve the significations of Mars, because what is losing? Its signification. Mars signifies energy. You will lose out on energy, valor, courage. You will be less courageous this time. So it's okay. Sometimes you're more courageous in life. If you were, you will probably have less courage. You will have less or low risk appetite, which is absolutely okay. So not a very good time to make important business related decisions. However, your spouse or partner could go out of the way to help you, to protect you. Make sure any decision that you take, if it is related to your finances, your future, your bhagya, your karma, you have to consult your spouse. If you're not in a relationship, this is not the most ideal time to seek relationship or step into a new relationship, because you can have an energy level mismatch. Saturn is having a 7th very strong aspect on Mars, and so is Mars. But Saturn is trying to overpower Mars. Saturn's also Maran Karak, Mars is also Maran Karak. So avoid lethargy, be very careful during August, September, because you could have very low levels of energy. And if you channelize these levels of energy, this is an okay time period for you. Otherwise, it could be challenging. Make sure that you have a morning routine. Make sure that you increase your spiritual practices, your exercise, yoga, sadhana. Anything that you do to ensure that you get the right level of energies. You could have minor health related issues. Make sure that you go for regular health checkup, you visit the hospital, you visit the doctor. Mars is going to aspect your 10th house by the 4th special aspect. So at least your work is being protected. But if you have low levels of energies, you will have issues at work. So make sure that you watch out this transit. Mars is also aspecting your 2nd house by the 8th special aspect. Your finances are going to make a decision, and of course your family, your spouse and your family. These are the 2 pillars for you. And of course, financial matters are gradually going to improve. This is time for you to probably lay low key, but avoid lethargy, avoid procrastination, and take charge, take control of your decisions. This is something which you must remember. From a remedial point of view, look up to Lord Hanuman. Read Hanuman Chalisa on a daily basis. For your protection, look up to him to channelize the positive energies of Mars as well as Saturn. So friends, this was yet another unique video on Mars' transit in sign of Virgo, where it will be in a mutual aspect with Saturn. I hope and believe Mars' transit helps us channelize our energies in anything and everything that we do on a day-to-day basis and focus a lot on our jobs and daily lives, also in terms of our health and immunity. Stay tuned for more such videos on my channel. Thank you very much. God bless you all.